Hello and welcome back. If you're new to the channel and you want to not only perplex up your Heroclix IQ, but outwit the competition, make sure to Hulk smash that subscribe button and also the bell notification so that you're sure to not miss anything. Today, guys and girls, we're going to be taking a look at a ton of previews from Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Girls. This set's coming out next week, and so we're just going to go ahead and take a look at some of these figures and give you my thoughts on them, general playability, if it's meta or not. So the first one we're going to go ahead and get a look at here, we're going to look at some bombshells. We have Bombshell Catwoman. Let me see here. Get my end up so I can talk about her with you. To start off, she has the bombshell trait that all the bombshells have, where it says when Catwoman makes an attack targeting an opposing character, give her a bombshell token, and then free. If she has 2 action tokens, remove 2 bombshell tokens and make a close attack. She has the bombshell Gotham City keyword, 55 points. Looks like a 3-range single target. She has a special defense that says more secretive than you can imagine. It says super senses. When Catwoman uses it before rolling the d6, she may remove up to 2 bombshell tokens and increase the result by 1 for each token removed. So instead of a 5 or 6, she can up it to a 4, 5, or 6 for a successful super senses roll. Has outwit and perplex for either outwit or perplex for all of her defensive slots, and at 55 points she's pretty good. Nice little support piece. 10 attack is a decent secondary attacker. Precision strike's nice, and that increased super senses roll could really come in handy for someone like her. So overall, I like it. Not meta, but definitely pretty cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at another bombshell, and this one is Harley Quinn. She is 75 points, has the bombshells and Gotham City keyword, has the bombshell trait, and she has a special on her movement, which is a massive 12 movement, and it says charge and the flight ability. So she's a really good taxi. 4-range single target, has quake, super senses, and she has perplex for her first 3 clicks and outwit for her next 3 clicks. So again, a nice supporty / secondary attacker. That charge with 6 is good, and then she's a good, she kind of blurs the line between secondary attacker and support figure, so I like her. As of right this second, I can't think of anything that would be meta about this, but very good. I'd say she's very good. 17 defense with super senses, 16 with combat reflexes, so 18 up close for 75 points isn't bad. Let me see here, and the last bombshell figure that we have a preview for is BATGIRL, and she is number 37 in the set, 75 points, 5-range single target, has the bombshell keyword, Suicide Squad, and monster. She has the bombshell trait that all of them have. Then she has another trait, and it says Bloody Bell of the Bog, and this is a wild dial. So Steel Energy Stealth. Batgirl begins the game on click 3. When Batgirl uses Steel Energy, she may heal past her starting line. So the line you're starting her on is a 9 movement with hypersonic, 11 attack with precision strike, 17 defense with a special, which is World War II flying ace, or I'm sorry, World War I flying ace. Super senses when attacked by a character with the flight ability, modify Batgirl's defense by 3. So she has, if she's being attacked by another flyer, she has a 20 defense at 75 points is crazy. And she has 2 clicks of exploit weakness, 2 clicks of blank, and 2 clicks of perplex. And that first click, if you were able to steal energy up to 2 spots, is 10 attack with 10 movement with charge, 12 attack with blades, 18 defense impervious, 4 damage exploit. I actually like this dial better where she just starts off with the hypersonic speed and the 20 defense. Not crazy good, but she's, I mean, for 75 points, I would take it cut off right there at like 65 points or something like that, and just I'd pay 65 points for that all day. So pretty good. I like her. She's probably, other than Zatanna, she's probably my next favorite bombshell, just because of how she's set up. Let's see here. Our next one is, we're going to be looking at Catwoman again, but this is the non-bombshell version. So let me go ahead and see what she looks like on my screen. It says she has the Gotham City and Underworld keywords, 0 range, 50 points. She has 1 trait. It's Whip, Giant Reach number 3. And she also has improved movement, ignores hindering, which is good. Then she has another trait, and this is what I really like about her. And this, you'll find this on a bunch of different Catwomen. It says, I got there first. And it says, when an opposing character would pick up an object, you may roll a d6 on a 4 through 6. Place that object in Catwoman's square instead. So, after the Mighty Thor set, where we have all these different objects, and people are trying to pick them up, this, that, and the other thing. This is a cheap 50-point way to try to steal that. So that is fantastic, and she doesn't necessarily have to pick it up, but that's crazy good. And then she has a special on her movement, which is sidestep stealth. So that's pretty good. Starts off with a 9 movement with that special, 10 attack, 17 defense with combat reflexes, 2 damage. Then she's got 2 clicks of perplex after that. Gets a little bit more offensive towards the end of her dial. I mean, for 50 points, a 19 defense up close with stealth, giant reach 3, so you are able to hit some people outside of the hindering terrain is good. I like her a lot. With that trait about taking opposing characters' objects, that borders on meta. So we'll see how that one works out. But I'd try to get one of these, if nothing else, just to get it and sit on it and see if something else comes that maybe you can get better than a 50-50 shot with her. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at is BERNADETH. And before we get into her, or into this figure, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, make sure to just put that in the live chat, and we will, at the end of this, we'll talk about it. Or if somebody has a super good point about one of these, we'll cover it then. So BERNADETH here is also 50 points. She has the Superman enemy team ability, Apocalypse, Female Furies, and Assassin keywords. She has this Will of Apocalypse trait, which is when BERNADETH hits, until your next turn, she has Protected, Outwit, Opposing Perplex, Exploit Weakness, and Penetrating Psychic Blast. So that's pretty good for 50 points. That's to make it so that all that stuff doesn't hurt her. Then she has a special on her attack called Farron Knife. It says Poison. When BERNADETH uses it, it deals penetrating damage to opposing characters with action tokens. So she is a nice little tie-up figure here. She starts off with a 10 movement with stealth, 10 attack with that special poison, 17 defense with combat reflexes, 3 damage with exploit weakness. So if you can get her adjacent and get that up to a 19 defense, she's a nice a nice little tie-up figure, and you know, dealing the penetrating damage if they do decide to take actions, and being able to deal penetrating damage if she hits is crazy. She's pretty good. I don't know that, you know, I don't know that she's meta, but for somebody that wants to play an Apocalypse or Female Fury's theme team, she's definitely going to be a good add-on for that team. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about here is going to be LASHINA, or LASHINA. That's how you say that. I don't know why I always want to say LASHINA. It's LASHINA, another female Fury. She has the Superman enemy team ability. She's 75 points. Has the Apocalypse, Female Furies, Suicide Squad, and Soldier keywords. She has that Will of Apocalypse trait also that protects her against Outwit, Opposing Perplex, Exploit Weakness, and Penetrating Damage if she hits an opposing character. She has another trait called Where Do You Think You're Going? And it's Plasticity, Giant Reach 3. Opposing characters within 3 squares in line of fire treat LASHINA as adjacent when moving. That's pretty good. Shutting down hypersonic like that when you're not really adjacent could be a big deal. If somebody has hypersonic and no range, could be a big deal, like a Flash or something like that. So that's pretty good. Then she has a special on her attack, and it's called Kiss of the Lash. It's Precision Strike when LASHINA hits with a close attack. After resolution, give the target an action token. Anytime you can deal damage and hand out action tokens is great. Incap's just a good power to begin with. Not that this is Incap, because Incap deals damage after you give them the tokens. So you could give somebody a second token with this, and or give them a third token, and they wouldn't get the extra click. But that's still really good. And she also has a special on her damage, and it's called We Are the Wrath of Darkseid given form. It says Leadership. When LASHINA uses it and succeeds, adjacent friendly characters with the Female Fury's keyword can use Colossal Stamina this turn. That's not bad. She doesn't have Indom, but I'm going to assume a couple of them do. So, you know, that might be a nice thing if you're on a turn that's, you know, that pivotal point in the game. You know, give them that Colossal Stamina might be a big deal. Or if there's a turn where you're all pushed out and you really need to move, that would be a good thing too. So she's pretty good at 75 points. She's worth having just for her plasticity trait all by itself. I'm not exactly sure how I'd use her, but it's pretty good. She has 5 attack with, or I'm sorry, 5 range with 2 lightning bolts. Starts off with a 10 movement sidestep, 10 attack with the special, 18 defense with super senses, 3 damage with that special. So she's pretty good. I'll probably try to hunt one down. Next one we're going to look at is Big BARDA. I like this one. She's a prime. 23B, has the Justice League, the JLA team ability, has Apocalypse, Birds of Prey, and Justice League keywords. She has a special on her movement, which is Personal Boom Tube, phasing teleport. When Big BARDA uses it, after action resolves, you may roll a d6. If the result is greater than the squares moved, make an attack. So that is really good. Phasing teleport's a good power, and if you can just, you know, like move one to get to a different character that's maybe like 1 or 2, you know, 1 square away and outwitting something on somebody important, you can get to him, and then anything other than 1 you can still attack. So I like this. It's good, not crazy good, but I like it. Then she has a special on her damage, and it's coordinated attack. Empower but instead affects friendly characters within 3 squares. That's really good. She's only 100 points, so in a 300-point game, you should have at least a few other figures that are going to get some juice out of that Empower. So overall, pretty good. Not great. This is... I'm judging her a little harshly because she's a Prime, and I expect a lot out of Prime figures. Like I expect them to be like under cost, and this seems almost like it's appropriately cost. Maybe slightly under, but not some of the craziness that we've seen before. So she has 4 range, single target, flight ability, 10 movement with that special, 11 attack with super strength, 18 defense with invincible, 4 damage with that special. So she's good. I'm not going to bother to hunt this one down, but if you're really into Big BARDA and Mr. Miracle or Apocalypse keyworded figures, she's definitely good. And sorry about some of the noise, guys. I'm fighting off a cold here. Everybody at my house is sick. I'm pretty much the last man standing on not being flat out sick. So let's see here. We're gonna go ahead, and the next figure we're gonna take a look at, speaking of being sick, we're gonna go see a doctor. We're gonna see Dr. Harley QUINZEL. Although she's not necessarily the medical kind of doctor, and judging by Joker, I don't think I want too much to do with her. But she's 40 points, has the Arkham Asylum keyword and Scientist keyword. She has a trait, and it says, I don't know what came over me, and it says, friendly characters named the Joker have power. Give an adjacent friendly character named Dr. Harley QUINZEL and action at no cost. So that's a really good, I guess it's any action. It doesn't say free or costed action at no cost. So she can do any action you need her to do. She also has a special on her damage, and it says, I see, so there's the real victim. So you're the real victim here. And it says, perplex, but only to target opposing characters. Outwit, but only to target the target of her perplex this turn, and only if it's 100 points or less. So she has outwit and perplex as long as they're under 100 points, and she uses them both in the same turn. She's a real supporty figure. At 40 points, she has defend and support with a 9 attack on click 2. So that's, you're asking for an 8 there, which is a little bit big. So I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, she has perplex, outwit, support, enhancement, and then she gets later on in the dial a little more offensive with close combat expert, exploit weakness and charge, flurry blades. For 40 points, she's not bad. If I was really into playing Joker figures and wanted a more expensive Joker and wanted her to support, this wouldn't be a bad one. I wish there was like some kind of switch click thing where, you know, like, you know, roll a die, and if you get a 6 or something, you can switch to a different Harley Quinn or something like that. I don't know. But this one's not bad. The next thing we're going to take a look at is Bud the Hyena. He is 25 points. He is number 19A, so this is the non-prime version of a prime. Now, when I first looked at this guy, he looks to me a lot like the hyenas from the Lion King. So I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. So out of these figures so far, what do you guys think is your favorite one so far? And do you think that this looks like one of the hyenas from the Lion King, or am I just crazy? So go ahead and put that in the comments. But he has a trait, and it says, come here, boys. During force construction, Bud gains the keywords of characters on that starting force named Harley Quinn. sidestep, but only if a friendly character named Harley Quinn has moved this turn. So that's how he's going to get his little bit of move and attack there on a Harley Quinn team. Then he has a special on his damage. It says likes to play pranks, probability control, but only during your opponent's turn. Prob's good, even if it's a conditional prob. 3 clicks long, has Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Super Senses for 25 points. Not bad at all. You know, just throw it on for a really themed team. You know, if you have a Harley and Joker theme, you throw this guy on, it keeps in theme. I like it. It's flavorful. Nothing meta here. Pretty excited to see what the Prime version is, though. So, the next figure we're going to go ahead and take a look at here is King Shark. And he is a super rare in the set. And I don't know, I'm kind of, the more I look at him, the more I like him. But he's split dial, 90 points and 50 points. So if you guys have watched this channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm going to like the 50-point dial more. He has the Secret 6, Suicide Squad, and Animal Keywords. He has a trait that's pretty cool, I think. It's flavorful, if nothing else. And it says stealth, but only if your force has 3 or more characters. Improved movement ignores hindering, but only if your force has 5 or more characters. Modify all combat values by +1 if but only if your force has exactly 6 characters. So if you can get him on a force with exactly 6 characters, he has stealth, improved movement ignores hindering, and +1 to all these combat values. So that 50-point starting line is a 9 movement with plasticity, a 11 attack with Blades, Claws, Fangs, 18 defense with toughness, 4 damage with exploit. And that is crazy. So he has another trait. It's called Me and My Chum. It says sidestep. Free. If King Shark occupies water terrain, move him up to his speed value. So I guess he can use sidestep, then take a different free action if he's in water terrain and move him up to his full speed value. So let's say he was on a team with exactly 6 figures, so he can move 11 squares by himself for a 50-point figure, which is pretty huge, and he's going to be difficult to ignore. And then he has a special on his damage, and you only get those if you pay 90 points for him. And it's Giant Hungry Shark. It's Exploit Weakness and Shape Change. Both are good powers. It's not a bad 90-point dial. I wish that first 17 was an 18, and I'd probably be more willing to jump on the 90-point dial bandwagon. So there is that one, and I think we got 1 or 2 more super. We got 1 more super rare before we get to the chases. So what we're looking at here is let me see here. I confused myself here for a second. So what we're going to go ahead and look at here is Harley and Ivy, and they are 125 points with the Batman Enemy Team ability and Calculator Team ability, which is Wild Card. They start, and I'm gonna struggle with that one. They have improved movement, ignore hindering. They have Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Sirens, Gotham City Underworld, and Scientist Keywords. They have a special on their movement called Sidestep and Stealth. Always good. Special on their attack. It says Toxic Twosome. Incapacitate, Poison, Smoke Cloud. Harley and Ivy has... Harley and Ivy have Protected, Poison. They can use Incapacitate as free, but only to target an opposing character occupying their Smoke Cloud marker. So that's cool. You can, you know, hypothetically, what you could do is poison somebody, then put a smoke cloud marker under them, and then hit them with incap also all in the same turn. So that's really cool. That's fun. Then there's special on their damage. It says set them up for me red. It says when Harley and Ivy attack a single opposing character, modify attack and damage value for each action token the target has. So +1 everything. Well, +1 to attack and damage, or possibly +2 to attack and damage, are very good. So the first click that they'd have that on, they'd have possibly a 12 attack for 5 damage, which is good. This is a fun, flavorful dial at 125 points. It has it has a 6 range with 2 targets in Dom, and that's pretty much it. I think this is more of a fun dial. I think it could be a real pain in like a casual match to try to get around. There's just a lot going on here, and with a really good player, it could be an issue. But this is definitely not meta. But she's cool. And I actually really like this sculpt. It's simple, but I think it represents the character as well. So, all right, and so we got one more figure before we get to the chases. So this is Harley Quinn, but it is a Green Lantern version. So it seems like we're going to get basically a Harley Quinn for every lantern. She is 125 or 100 points. Green Lantern team ability. It's nice to see that making a comeback over the last couple sets. She has Arkham Asylum and Green Lantern keywords. She has a special on her attack called Giant Green Hammer. Duh. And it's Quake Giant Reach 3. Quake, as everybody I'm sure knows by now, got a lot better with the rules change. So that's fantastic. Has a special on her defense called G, Do I Have to Be Good Now? Barrier, Energy Shield Deflection, Invulnerability. That's good. So she's looking at a 20 defense with invulnerability, and she can have barrier. If that's the 125 point dial. At the 100 point dial, she has a 19 defense at ranged, which is fantastic. She also has a special on her damage called Helping Not My Strong Suit. Adjacent opposing characters modify their combat values -1. So all their combat values are -1. And that's just passive, which is good. And she has that on her first 4 clicks of her 125 point dial and her first 2 clicks of her 100 point dial. Again, I'm probably going to go with the 100 point dial as the one that I would run. And this is 59B, so this is a prime. So that's why this is so good. Again, I don't think that this is really under cost. I don't know. It's good. It's right the line. It could be a little bit under cost, but again, if I'm comparing her to primes of the past, she's not as under cost as I remember in the past. But she's good. Any Green Lantern fan will want her. Any Harley Quinn fan will want her. This is a good, I would say, hard second attacker / support figure. I wish her attack, she didn't have those couple 10s front loaded, but she's not bad. She also has in-dom flight ability, 7 range single target. So she's good. And so some things we're going to talk about before we get into the chase figures are going to be we're going to go ahead, and if you noticed, there's a new button that you should be able to hit if you're watching this live. It's called the Super Chat. It looks like a little money sign. And what that is if you're watching this and you like the channel and you want to support it, go ahead and hit that button. You can put any amount in, and it goes to me, which will support the channel, which really just goes to giveaways to, give stuff back to you guys. I am trying to upgrade some of my equipment. also. So anything that you guys give is extremely helpful, and hopefully you've seen that I'm trying to upgrade the quality on this stuff. So super chats are more than welcome, but not necessary. I'm more than happy to just bring you guys the same content I've been giving you. Also, if you check the description, you'll find different ways to support the channel. If it's the affiliate link, or checking out my eBay to see if there's a figure you want, visiting Patreon to see if there's a level there that you want to participate in. Tons of different levels starting at $1. Doing some what I feel crazy stuff there, at least for the Heroclix community. And then the last thing I want to talk about is I'm doing a t-shirt sale for some of the Heroclix designs. What it's going to be is $33 shipped to your door. I have 2 different designs. So here's the first one. It's Eat Sleep Clicks or Click. They're going to be screen printed, by the way. So the background color is going to be the color of the shirt. Then the rest of this is going to be white. And I'm going to be able to do sizes small through 6XL, and they're all $33 shipped to you. And the other shirt I'm going to be able to do is this Circle of Life shirt, which I really like. So it's got this kind of brown gray shirt color, and then the rest of this is going to be screen printed white. And I really just like that one too. So if you like either one of these t-shirt designs, I need 12 people per design to order them. And what you do is you just hit up the email on my landing page for YouTube, which is japete61@gmail.com. I need your name, address, shirt size, and then once we get closer to the date, I also need your the design you want. And once we get closer to the date, I'll send you an email with PayPal information. You get me paid, and I will have a shirt out to you. The deadline for this is November 22nd, 2017. So if you're watching this years in the future, this one's been done. But yeah, if you get that information to me by November 22nd, I will have you a shirt in your mail in time for the holidays. And if you don't want it, but you want to get it to send to someone, that's fine too. I'll support that. Everything will be shipped USPS and a USPS flat rate. So just so that you know that's a cool way to support the channel. And again, $33 for what could be a 6XL shirt is really good. So let's go ahead. Enough of me blabbing and trying to gain get a little bit of support or get some cool stuff in your hands. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at a chase figure, and this one is GRAIL. So this is, I believe she's Apocalypse's daughter. So it's 175 points. Has the monster. I don't know. I keep having trouble reading that. Monster, Apocalypse, Brute, and Deity. And she has a trait. It says Corrupt Your Will. Whenever an opposing character within 6 squares use willpower, you can heal her 1 click. So that's really good. A lot of characters have willpower, including, well, she has indomitability. So I'm not sure if that technically gives you willpower, but look it up in the rules. She has a special on her attack. It says Goddess of the Anti-Life. Quintessence team ability she gains, so can't be outwitted, which is good. Range value of 6. At the beginning of your turn, you may deal 1 penetrating damage to all opposing characters within 6 squares. That's crazy. So I like that. That's a good one there. The one penetrating to everybody within 6 squares. Just carte blanche, no action, no nothing. Just beginning of your turn, like mega poison. And then she has a special on her damage. Empower you to destroy the anti-monitor. It's Perplex. When GRAIL uses it to target another character, you may instead modify all of the target's combat values +2. Oh, that is so crazy. I wish she was less points so I could make... like her dial was worse, but she just had that and I could use it on somebody else. But she has... that's crazy. She gets that on her last 2 clicks. So we'll go ahead and talk about the style. She has the flight ability, in Dom. Starts off good enough, 9 movement with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with invulnerability, 3 damage with exploit weakness. And to me, this kind of looks like a Hulk dial, where it starts off weak, although this isn't weak, and then looks like it gets progressively stronger until the end. I wish one of these clicks here at the end was a stop click for 175 points. But overall, I like it. At first, I was mad that there wasn't even sidestep on these last 3 clicks where she has mind control. But given that she can, deal penetrating damage to anybody within 6, I think that I'll be able to live with that. So overall, I like her as a chase. I would not be sad to get that one. And the next thing we're going to talk about here is Lex Luthor, son. This guy is also insanely good. Once I get up my copy of Lex Luthor again. So 250 points, quintessence team ability, has improved targeting, ignores hindering and characters. I'm not sure if everything just has the circle but it ignores characters. Has the Apocalypse, Justice League, Deity Ruler, Scientist keywords. Scientist got a big gun now. He has a trait called God of Apocalypse. Opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't reduce damage by more than 1. That is crazy. So basically, it takes out Invincible, and at 250 points, it means that there's pretty much nobody's effectively going to have better than toughness within 6 squares of him, which is good. That's fantastic. Has a special on his movement called the Omega Judgment. It's running shot. When Lex Luthor, God of Apocalypse, hits with a ranged attack, after resolution, he may use telekinesis at no cost to target a hit character. So he can hit him with, let's take, for example, that's on his first click. So he could hit with a 12 attack with Psychic Blast, which is pretty likely, and then TK him to somebody else that's going to be able to bash him in the face after that, which is crazy. Or, put him just outside so that they can't get to him, and then do it again the next turn, which is also good. Has a special on his defense, and it's Apocalypse is ready for me, Invincible, and Mastermind. So he could. Now, I'm not sure about the interaction with this, if he can, do the Invincible and then Mastermind the damage off, anything that's left, or if he has to decide before. Well, damage, I think Mastermind's damage dealt, so he should be able to do Invincible first, and then whatever is left, which would be a maximum of 3, he can make somebody else take, which is crazy. So he has a 8 range single target. Again, starts off with 10 attack with that special, 12 attack with Psychic Blast, 18 defense with that special, 5 damage with Outwit. Then he ends up with Sidestep, and then that special movement again. Gains some, becomes like a close combat guy about the middle of his dial. Then the end, he goes to ranged again. I like him. I think Mangog at 150 points, making it to your opponent's side of, making it to your opponent's starting area, is going to be what gets it so that you can call this guy in with a Lex Luthor ID card. This guy is good. I don't know that you want to make him your main guy on your team, but definitely is a call-in, and definitely for just fun teams or home games or casual tournaments. This guy's good. I would definitely, just for the Scientist keyword, I would be extremely happy with this guy if I pulled him. And the last figure of the reviews for today is Green Lantern, God of Light. 175 points. He has the Green Lantern and Quintessence team ability. Has Green Lantern Corps, Justice League, New Gods, Cosmic, and Deity keywords. He has a trait called God of Light. Opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't use stealth. So at 175 points, pretty likely to make use of that. Then he has a special on his movement, and this is the crazy part. So he has I Am Everywhere, Power. Place Green Lantern, God of Light, in a square that's within half of his speed value and make an attack. So he doesn't have to break away. He's being placed, so he doesn't have to break away. He doesn't need line of fire. He just gets to take a power action, be placed within half, which all of his movements with this on it are 12. So anywhere within 6 squares, he can just be placed and then make a ranged attack, which is crazy. And he, if they're within 6 squares, basically he's shutting down stealth. So insane. Then he has a special on his defense called Mother Ring. Can you restore Oa? I don't know where I'm going with Aura. Can you restore Oa? Barrier Impervious. Friendly characters adjacent to Green Lantern, God of Light, or one of his barrier markers modify defense +1. So it's +1 defense for anybody that's adjacent to him. So that's nice for your 1 or 2 support figures that you're going to have on your team with them. Especially if you can get somebody with like a low pointed 19 defense something in front of you for a 20. Try to block some lines of fire. So that's really good. Then he has a special on his damage, and it's called I Am Light. It's enhancement, range combat expert. Opposing characters hit by his attacks modify defense value -1 this turn. Okay, so now let's look at the dial itself, and we'll see how crazy this actually gets. This is, I don't know if it's my favorite chase. I feel like whichever one makes it so that opposing characters within 6 can't use Perplex is going to be my favorite. But this guy, out of what we've seen, is my favorite. This is the guy that I definitely want if I can have a choice of what's pulled. So he has 8 attack, dual target, which is good. Anything really above a 6 now, I would consider good for range. 12 movement, wing symbol with that outrageous special. 11 attack with Pulse Wave of all things. 18 defense with the special, 4 damage with that special. So with his movement special, you can give him a power action place within 6, and then I believe he can use range combat expert. I don't know. I don't have my PAC sitting in front of me. I don't think he can use Pulse Wave, but I think he can use range combat action. No, so I think no, he can't do that. But you place him, you have a chance at a 13 attack for 4 damage with range combat expert, or a 11 attack for 6 damage, or 12 attack for 5 damage. Out of 175 point figures, good. Then he also has 2 clicks of prob. Then he gets penetrates, psychic blast, energy explosion in the middle there, standard phasing teleport in the middle there. This guy's good. Not meta, but good. Green Lanterns are probably some of my favorite DC heroes, so I'm not gonna seek this guy out, but if I pull him, I'm definitely gonna try to hang on to him. So out of everything that was previewed, guys and girls, what did you like the most? Go ahead and post that in the comments below, and we'll I'll get back to you guys on that if you're watching it on live stream or on playback. And keep a lookout. I'm going to be having a bunch of uploads for my WizKids Open this Saturday. So we'll be taking a look at that stuff. So hopefully I'm able to come off with a win, because a lot of other content creators looks like won their WizKids Open. So the pressure's on me for that one. But alright guys, again, check out the links below if you want to support the channel, and send me that email if you're interested in one of the shirts by November 22nd, 2017, and we will make that happen for you. That's all I have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.